Hello everyone, this is Rohit Manoran from Networkers Home and welcome back to the AWS Solution Architect Associate Lab Training. For this video, we'll be discussing about IAM, Identity Access Management. So talking about Identity Access Management, let's discuss a little bit theory first before the lab session, which will be useful in lab scenarios. So we have to discuss it.
In the theory part, we are going to discuss about some key features that IAM offers. So the first one is centralized control of your AWS account. So if you are running multiple instances, if you are running S3, if you are running EC2, Lambda, so S3 is basically storage, EC2 is virtual machines, and Lambda is a different kind of service. There are many couple of services that Amazon can run. Yeah. So if you're running that instances, and you can manage all that things from a single account. That what does this centralized control feature mean? The second one is shared access. You can share your AWS access to a different user if you want. In an emergency case, if you want, you can give him an access to that. So the third one is permissions. So if you have so many users in IAM, you can escalate or reduce the permission according to your need. So that what IAM offers, you can do things with permissions. The fourth one is identity federation, and I think many of you know what identity federation means, but I will explain it to you. If you want to use your Active Directory or Facebook or LinkedIn to log in, so the AWS will help you in that. So IAM offers that also. The next is multi-factor authentication. Yeah, authentication. And what does multi-factor authentication means is it will require 2 or 3 authentication procedures to log in. So that will be followed through 2-3 authentication process, and you will be finally going to get your access to the account. So the fifth one is provide temporary access to guests. So in case of emergency or in whatever case you need, you can provide access to guest users also. The last one is password rotation policy. What does that mean? So if you are the root user, you can actually set that my IAM users have to change passwords in 2 weeks, every 2 weeks. So it will be rotated every 2 weeks. So that what password rotation policy means. And we will discuss about some keywords. The first keyword is users. So users, you already know, users are the one who will be using the AWS console, and you can actually give it permission whatever you need. The second one is groups, and groups is a collection of users. And the best thing about groups are if you give a permission to a group, and let us give this group a root permission. If you give a root permission to a group, this group users will also inherit that property. So basically, if you give permission to groups, the users will get that property. So the third one is policies, which is very important. Yeah, in AWS policies. So policies are actually made up of documents, and it's written in JSON. So these are actually a file which gives you permission so to describe what a user can do or group can do or policy can do. The last keyword, which is very important, is roles. Yeah, so roles are something you can create role and assign to AWS resources. So roles are something you can assign. It's like action that you want to assign to AWS resources. So that what these main keywords mean. And this is the end of our theory part. Now we'll jump directly into our AWS console. You have to basically log in through root user. So I will show you. So I am in my browser. I will type AWS Amazon.com. Here it is. And what I have to do is sign in to the console. So I have to click on that. And as you can see, I have two options. To enable the IAM feature, you have to log in through the root user. So you have to enter your root email address. Have successfully logged into the AWS Management Console. The next thing that you have to do is click on services, and there are a couple of services. You have to go for security, identity, and compliance. And under that, you can see IAM is there. You have to basically click on that. And as you can see, welcome to the identity and access management. This is the link that you will send to your IAM user. We have to create the users. Right now, you can see the users are 0, groups are 0, roles are there. So we have to make users and put them in a group. So before that, there are a couple of things. So first step, this is the status to make it to enable the IAM feature. So there are total 5 steps, and the first one is done, which is delete your root access, which is defaultly done. You don't have to do it. So the first one will be completed. The second one is activate MFA on your root account. So let's do that. So before completing the steps, let's customize the link. So you can customize the link by clicking here, and it should be actually, it's a universal link, so it should be unique. So I'm going for Rohit Manoharan, my name itself, and let's check if it's available. Yes, it's available. As you can see, the link is changed, which is rohitmanoharan.signin.aws.amazon.com. Let's do the next step, which is activate MFA. So you have to click on activate MFA on your root account, and there is manage MFA. You have to click on that, which pops up this window. And for your information, we are in a global region, which means you can actually use your users. We are creating these users in global. So that means your users can access it from anywhere. So the thing that you have to do is click here. So multi-factor authentication and activate MFA. So which will pop you the type of MFA device to assign. So I will go for virtual MFA. There are other couple of methods that you can choose. I will go for virtual MFA and hit on continue. And there is a QR code. So I will click on show QR code. So with the help of video editing, you can see my phone screen directly. So what you have to do is install Google Authenticator app. So I will click, I skipped all the process. I will click on get started. And now what you have to do is scan the QR code right in the screen. So I will basically scan this QR code. And it's saved. And as you can see, I have a key which I have to put, so I can't show you right now. So I will basically type the key 433347, yeah, and let the code expire. So there is an expiration time which will revolve right beside your code, and you have to just add the consecutive code. So I will go for the second one, which is 545694. And I'm good to go, and I will click on assign MFA, and let me close this display. And as you can see, I have successfully assigned my virtual MFA. And one more thing that you need to know is we are in global, so we don't have to do anything in specific region, so it will be affecting all the regions. So what you have to do is next and click on dashboard. So the second step is done. And the third step is create individual IAM users. So for that, you have to open the drop-down menu, click on manage users. And as you can see, we don't have any users. So you have to basically click on add user. So I will create a username, which will be Rohit Man to 2020. Great. And there are two types of access, which is programmatic access and AWS Management Console access. So we'll be discussing about this access in a different video, but for this I will enable both of them. And as you can see, there is console password, so you can actually give them a custom password. So let's give it the same password that I am using. Great. And require password reset. So I will just untick it. So basically, if I log in through that account, I have to assign it again. So I have to make it again. So I will go for the easiest password again. Great. And I will click on next permissions. So there is permission. So before permission, we have to assign it to a group. So for that, you have to click on group. So create group. And let's assign a group which is network engineer teams. And what does you want to give? So there, so as you can see, there are a couple of policies that you can apply to this group, and you can actually create the custom policy, which we will not discuss in this part. We will actually, there are a couple of policies. So if you are in billing division, you can go for billing. And as you can see, there is billing kind of policies. There are couple number of policies. If you want, you can Google IAM policies. So I will go for policy. So I have to remove a space bar there. So there are a couple of policies. If you are in finance, there are financial policy. So there is financial policy, and you can actually check these policy if you want. There are different kinds of policy. AWS has already created it. So I am going to give it administrative access. So I have to just click on this administrative access. And if you want, you can actually see. So as I mentioned, the policies are written in JSON. So if you want to see that JSON, you have to basically click on this small button. And as you can see, the JSON is here. So you have to basically click on JSON. And actually, it's loading the policy summary, which is yeah, so the JSON is loaded, and if you see there is effect as allow, action as star, resource as star. So basically the star means each and everything is possible through this policy. So action is you can manage anything. So administrative access basically means that you can manage anything, you can use any resource, the effect is allow. So this is a JSON. So you can actually create your own JSON and give it a custom policy. So there is policy summary, so which will give you a idea of what the JSON means. So basically it gives 239 services are there, and we have all the access to that services. So what you have to do is simply click on create group. Yeah, so I have created the group. The next thing that you have to do is assign the tags. So let's create some tags. So just create some values. So I will go for name tag. Value will be Rohit. Great. I will go for age tag. Age. So basically I will go for 23. Great. So I will go for next review. And this is the review of my IAM. So this is the review of my user. So the third step will be done, and I'll go and create this user. So as you can see, we have successfully completed our user process. So what you have to do is you can download this file. Also, you can download the CSV file. And if you open this file, let it download. And there you can actually send this to that email. Also, you can actually click on send email, which will open your email. So as you can see, I have a couple of fields. Yeah. So I have secret access, access key ID, console login. So the login link will be this. Basically, the secret access key is this, access key ID is this, and password is empty because I don't want you to see the password. That's why I didn't show you. So if you want to see the secret access key, you have to basically click on show. So I'll close this, and let's jump back into the dashboard. And as you can see, we have completed all the process. The last one is apply an IAM password policy. You have to basically click on manage policy. Yeah. And you have to set a password policy. So I will click on set password policy. So this will be the minimum requirement of a password. So minimum length is 6 characters and I'm good for that. So I will not add more complicated passwords. I'm going to click on save changes. And we have successfully, so if I go back to dashboard, as you can see, we have completed 5 out of 5 steps and we have successfully created the IAM. So in any case your user loses your password, what you have to do is click on users and you have to click on the specific user. You have to go for security credentials, and as you can see, you have console password. You can manage it and you can change the password from here and it will be good to go. And the thing that next I want to make you aware is never share your access key ID and secret key with anyone. So I will make it inactive basically, or it's better to delete this access key ID. So I don't want anyone to access this. So I will delete it basically. Yeah. So if you don't want anyone to access your account. So these two things are very important in AWS. You never share your access key ID or secret key. So let's talk about roles. So we'll create a role which will signify that our EC2 can access the S3 storage. EC2 is the virtual machine in short. So what you have to do is click on access management, go under roles. And as you can see, we have 2 roles which is already there. So roles are basically to use from one resource to another resource. So any resource want to access another resource, you have to create a role. So let's create a role. I will click on create role and let's use the common use case, which is EC2, and next permissions. And as you can see, there are a couple of policies that you can use. So this orange symbol right here is basically meant for manage policies. So these are manage policies. So what I'm going to do next is type here S3. And as you can see, there is a manage policy rule, which is S3 full access. I will check it and you can add tag and I will just remove the tag. So it's not needed. So I will give this role a name, which will be S3 access, and role description is there. I'm good with that. And I will click on create the role. So as you can see, we have successfully created the role. So this role basically means our EC2 can access the S3. So that's it for this video. Thank you for watching. See you soon.